Hey, Mike and Shelly.
Hi.
How are
Good
you guys?
morning. How are you? Thank you.
Good, good, doing very well. I'm sitting here with Mike and Shelly of Peak City Coffee. This coffee right here, the one that I rated as the highest coffee of coffee and closings. So I'm honored to be here with you guys and hear your story. Right now, we are drinking Full Steam, obviously by Peak City. Bold, strong, intense. It's a dark roast. And we're actually going to be drinking a couple of different ones. What are the other ones we're drinking?
We're going to drink Whispering Pines, which is our Tanzania, and our newest rotational coffee, which is we call Snow Camp,
That's the one sitting in front of you.
right behind you.
No, but the bag.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. What was the other one? The Tanzania? Oh, the Whispering Pines. Yeah. Okay.
Sitting right behind me.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm excited to dive into, hopefully we'll get to all three of these. But so far, I'm trying to keep this Full Steam.
Yeah.
is phenomenal. And I wouldn't expect anything less. So we're at the end, typically we rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm just going to ask you guys kind of what your favorites are.
Okay.
Of yours, because they're all probably up there in the 10
Very
nines and
high, but
10s.
we'll tell you a different answer.
That's right. That's good. So first thing I kind of want to know about you guys is how you got started with Peak City, going from, what you were doing before to let's start making coffee beans.
Yeah. So I was actually working at Cisco, an IT company in RTP, and drinking very bad coffee there, by the way. I hope they have better coffee by now. And if not, they can reach out to me.
What was it? Do you remember?
Oh, no.
Folgers,
No idea.
Maxwell?
But anyway, drinking very bad corporate coffee, and someone there told me I could roast my own coffee. So I guess because I love cooking and I brew beer, I was like, game on. So I showed me a couple examples to get started. And next thing I know, I turned a gas grill in my backyard into a 5-pound coffee roaster. And that was it. We did that for about 8 years. And obviously, when we got started, it was just all hobby, had nothing to do with it would be where we are today.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's really also where we learned about specialty grade coffee. We started sourcing in some coffees to use in our backyard. And, we really were just doing that for ourselves and for, sharing with friends and family. And then came across specialty grade coffee, which is really high end coffee beans that are graded 80 or higher on the Specialty Coffee Association scale, and said, wow, this coffee makes a difference, starting with a high grade bean. And then, after about 8 years, we decided that it was something we wanted to bring to the market, bring into our community, share it out. We were inspired by some other coffee roasters that we'd seen when we'd been traveling, and really wanted to make something unique and fun and do something that we could share with the community and introduce specialty grade coffee to other people, so they could experience, wow, coffee can be really good.
Yeah. Well, yours is really good.
Well, thank you.
No sugar.
That's right. No sugar, no cream, just
Right.
black, good coffee. So 8 years, it was just a hobby. Were you guys you guys didn't have a name or anything at that point, did you?
No,
No,
not
we
at all.
didn't. We didn't start crafting this together until about 2019. We started thinking about, well, what would this look like if we were going to bring this into the market? And we wanted something that was, really unique to our community, but didn't just say Apex, North Carolina all over it, right?
Yeah.
But pulled from images and things. Apex is called the peak of good living.
Mhm.
So that's why we played off Peak City Coffee, but there's a lot of peaks out there. So
Get it on.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. So what made you think that you can start a roasting company off of a grill?
No idea.
Did you find a YouTube video and how can I do this? Or how did that, because I would never think, hey, let me roast some coffee. I got a grill out back. Let me put 2 and 2 together and make this a thing.
I think we both just had this entrepreneurial spirit, and as a life goal, we want to own our own business. Obviously, I had other hobbies. Brewing beer is one of my major hobbies that I love. But I think coffee just made sense here.
Mm-hmm.
There was already a lot of breweries in the market. It was kind of getting saturated. A lot of more barrier to entry, and I think coffee was just a right fit. There was no coffee roaster here in Apex, and since I'd been here for so long now, this is like my new home.
Yeah.
Where I settled. I think it was a great place to go.
Yeah. So the kind of our first step was we went to up to Mill City Roasters in Minneapolis and took their Roasting 101 class.
Oh,
Learned
okay.
about their machines, learned about their philosophy. They're very open source. If you went to their website, there would be training videos and informational videos about coffee roasting, coffee sourcing, coffee, brewing and extraction, coffee tastings and cuppings. Their resources are amazing. So that really drew us to them. And so we went up for 3 days for a training and learned how to use the machines. And that's where we said, okay, this is now how you make this a commercial operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started small. We started with a 1 kilogram roaster machine.
And that's what's behind me.
And
right?
that's what's sitting behind you there. It's really considered a sample roaster. So we still use it when we're bringing in a new coffee that we want to sample. What's sitting behind us is the 10 kilogram machine, which is a production machine. So the biggest difference size-wise, everything about them is set up. The one behind us has got a little bit more automation. But the sample roaster, we can make 3 bags of coffee in a 15 to 20 minute roast. And the one behind us is 24 bags of coffee in a 15 to 20 minute roast. So, when we enjoyed sampling and trying things out and testing on the small one. And then when we said, hey, this is going to work, we had to quickly invest in a larger one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What a cool story.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, because I was actually working in open source software. So, when we were looking for the roasting machine, I'm like, it was just a natural fit,
Yeah.
So,
Did you, Mike, what point did you go all in at Peak City as far as like leaving your job behind? What did you do? And then going to Peak City, what did that transition look like for you,
Sure,
for your
I was
family, all that stuff?
testing software for Red Hat, actually, right here in Raleigh. We knew always when we started this was going to be something I was going to take on full time as a family business. And last year it just became that time, and it was the end of February, and we made the decision to do it. And not looking back, it's been the greatest thing. And actually, it was something because we're both full-time employees. I wasn't really in the hobby anymore. We were just getting busier and busier, and it was just busy work. Roasting, she'll come over in the morning, roast before work, or I roast after work, or there was a delivery, I got to get up off my site and run over here for FedEx. And now I feel like I can get back into that hobby. So that's really cool. That's just something I'm really enjoying now and can breathe easy. And we can talk about it more about the new coffee that we're bringing to the table, Snow Camp.
Yeah.
In a minute. Yeah.
Before we hit on that, Shelly, when he was like, hey, I'm going to make coffee full time, what was your kind of thoughts on that?
Be honest.
Be honest now.
No, I mean, honestly, it was always the long-term plan. But we had definitely hit a point where we were running hard and, managing a family, jobs, trying to grow a business. And you hit a point where something has to give, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could not grow this business anymore if we had stayed both working full time and trying to do this as a side hustle. You hit at that point where it's okay. You got to move on or shut it down or something. And we said, oh no, we're not done here.
No.
We're gonna keep moving forward. And so it's definitely been. I would say it's definitely been a stress reliever. I mean, it's nice that I'm not having to come over here and roast coffee at 6 a.m. Right? But it was the time. But it was definitely still a hard decision. I mean, that's it's life changing, right? When you drop an income and change health insurance, and these are real things that you have to talk through and deal with, and
all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely for me like surreal, like not getting that paycheck 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Then the next 4 weeks and 6 weeks, and all of a sudden you're like, feeling yourself like, what's your self-worth?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to remind yourself why you did this. And couldn't have done it without Shelly, of course. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If somebody said, Mike and Shelly, Peak City Coffee, I want to start roasting my own beans, what advice would you give to them now that looking back, I mean, you guys have been doing it for so long.
Don't do it.
You know, it's funny when I was thinking of that question, I'm thinking Mike's gonna come into the mic and say, "Don't do it." Just for the short time I've known you.
No, I would say just if somebody wanted to do it, I would just tell them to have fun sourcing your beans. That's where the hobby really comes in, is sourcing your beans and trying different things. We chose to work with a specific importer who only works in specialty grade coffee. So the nice thing is that we know every bean that comes in here is already a really high grade bean,
Mm-hmm.
but they're sourcing coffees from all over the world. And so anytime we want to, we can try an Ethiopian or a Guatemalan or a Costa Rican or, anything like that. I mean, we can even access Kona coffee if we wanted to. And just, don't necessarily want to have to pay that price for it. But that's really where the fun and the hobby part of it is. And I would tell somebody who wants to try it, do that. Try coffees from all over the world and see what speaks to you. We started with Colombians because we felt like, okay, if we're gonna try to create products that have longevity, we needed to start with something that I think that for most people, when they say, I want a cup of coffee, Colombian is what's resonating with them.
Mm-hmm.
So we started with Colombians as our kind of our core, as our base, and then it branched out from there. We'll taste some Tanzanian today, and you're going to see how drastically different it is from the Colombian full steam. It's a different part of the world. It's a different bean. It's a completely different flavor.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. And that's really the fun part about roasting coffee.
Yeah. Walk me through a little bit, because I'm completely oblivious to, because you go from sourcing to they come in these burlap bags behind us, and then they end up in that machine.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've seen a picture of you guys dumping beans into the top, and I guess something happens in the process and it comes out the other end. What is that process?
Yeah, something happens in the process. So, we're roasting the bean. I mean, it's a commercial cooking device is what a coffee roaster is. And we're tracking, we connect a computer to it, and we're tracking graphically and data points, because we want to replicate or know what we're doing here. But the bean goes through some different phases while it's roasting. So you're putting in a raw coffee bean, which is called a green bean. Nothing like the kind that mom makes us eat for our vegetables, right? But technically it is the pit of a coffee cherry. So the farmers are growing these coffee bushes of that look like cherry bushes. And then they are extracting the pit of that cherry and drying it out. And that's what we know as a raw coffee bean. So it's really part of a fruit. And it can only be grown in very warm climates, which is, why we're not growing it here in North Carolina.
Right.
We're not warm enough. You've got to be much closer to the equator to grow coffee. In the United States, Hawaii is the only place that has the right climate to actually grow coffee. So you take this, we import this raw bean, then this dried pit of a cherry, and put it into our roaster. And in the first phase of that is called the dry end. And so if you were to try to grind and brew that bean, what kind of through the dry end phase, and that's where it goes from kind of this maybe greenish brown color to almost a bit more of a yellowy color. So we call it, yellowing as well. That flavor that you would get if you actually tried to brew it would be completely based on what the farmer or where the bean grew and what kind of bean it was. Once you get to the yellowing phase and it starts to turn to that brown that we know as a coffee bean, it moves into a phase called first crack. And so you actually will hear the bean cracking, and it kind of sounds like popcorn popping in a machine.
Oh,
Pop.
And so that's when the bean is now starting to open up, starting to release some of the CO2 inside. And now at this point, any changes in flavor from the bean is completely based on what we're doing as roasters. How long, what kind of temperature. And so a mild or light bean, you might bring it just up into that first crack, and then you go ahead and drop it. And you cool it as fast as you can so that it stops roasting. If you're trying to do a dark roast like what we're drinking right now, the full steam, we're going to let it go through that first crack phase, and graphically we'll watch it kind of come up on our computer, and then as it gets through that phase, the first crack starts to end, and then a couple minutes later, as the bean temperature increases, it gets into second crack. And so now it's just opening up even more and getting darker and richer. And that part sounds like a firework.
So I like to think about it as a parabolic curve. Once it gets into that first crack, as Shelly was saying, starting to, that popcorn sound, pop, 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 that's when we declare it first crack. But think about it as like a parabolic curve. It'll get really loud, and then it'll start to phase off like that and be a little silent period, and then it'll start popping again when we get into the dark phase. And that's more like a firecracker, snap, snap, snap. But as they teach us in Roaster 101, if you cut that into little slices, every 15, 20 seconds, you're creating new profiles, which to me is really fascinating because, I guess from my other hobby, brewing, like it's not just this or that or the other thing. You're really like trying at different things. And that's what Shelly was saying earlier about with the sample roaster. So, when we first started with these different coffees, we didn't just, hit it on the first note, like we did a bunch of different coffees. Then we did some cupping, as much as I know cupping, but
What's cupping?
Go ahead.
Cupping is the tasting process. So there's actually the Specialty Coffee Association has a very prescribed process for how you taste coffee. And so that you take these small little cups, and the first thing you do is you put some ground coffee in it and you smell it. And you're going to do this with maybe a couple different samples of coffee. Maybe so like if you're, trying to come out with a new product, or you might take an Ethiopian coffee and you're going to roast it a couple different times, and then you want to compare them. And see which one you feel like is the absolute perfect cup of coffee for that Ethiopian.
The exact measurement, the temperature, we're learning in the class.
Yeah.
They specifically taught us in the class so you can actually view the coffee, the beans itself, and you can follow, I guess you would see like a chart and grade it. And what we didn't know at the time was they were actually kind of setting us up to actually have it over the number that we would then go back to the source and go, no, I can't take this coffee. But then we went and did a cupping session, and we didn't know it at the time, but then we all were tasting it, and they're like, well, now would you go back to the source and say no to that coffee? And they were actually really trying to teach us to build a relationship with your coffee roast source.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it was really fun, though, to do that process because what we didn't tell you, like you literally like have to have a special spoon. And if you can picture about 12 of us, out of phase, that was kind of pretty funny.
That sounds good.
Yeah, this is not an activity that you do during flu season with other people.
Oh yeah, I would imagine.
Sure.
And actually, they were really more. So they actually had a special cup just to cleanse the spoon. They didn't really, like to Shelly's point, they didn't really care about our health. They were more care about the coffee.
Make sure you do not, because you do not want to get your spoon, dip it in the next coffee if it still has any of the previous coffee on it.
Okay,
but basically, this is cupping is a whole prescribed method where you start with just the grinds in the cup, and then you pour it, right, and you smell it, and you look at it, and you judge the color and
write it down, what you're smelling, what you're thinking, and
then you pour water into it, and that's a very specific temperature water. And then you look at how the grains then kind of pill on the water surface. Again, looking at it, smelling it, and then you scrape the grinds off the top so that then you actually can start tasting. And you scoop it with a very special spoon and slurp it, and you're supposed to try to slurp it to get it into the back of your throat to do a tasting. And
that's crazy. Yeah,
that's just
cool.
sad.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
When we first got started and we were kind of trying to figure out our very first line of coffee, we set up with our neighbors in our garage a whole cupping table and had all of our neighbors going around and
like we were professional baristas.
That's right. Showing them what's.
But we're going to start this company, so we knew.
Yeah,
we knew.
That's cool. What's in the Chemex?
The Chemex right now, we did a pour over of the Tanzania.
Can I have some?
Yes, sir. Actually, out of all the roasting I did as a hobby, I had never made a Tanzania until we were introduced to it at Mill City Roasters up in Minneapolis. And it's actually a little bit different. It's a pea berry. So as Shelly was explaining earlier with the plant, the cherry, most of the seeds will have 2 in there, and this one will just be 1. So it's a little different. It's a little more round. And typically we find these different origin coffees that be a little more fruitier than the Colombian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's just something to think about.
Yeah, it's really different.
So,
That is
so
different.
we
It's like a
describe
burst of energy.
yeah, like little. We describe it as a little fruity, nutty tea like.
Yeah.
And by the way, like on all our bags, we have everything very high level. You know, if you were to hear the barista that they have at Mill City, like she can just like taste everything. She sensory library is amazing.
Mm.
But to the point, that's what they teach you there. Like, go to your local store and keep trying different kinds of fruits and things like that to kind of build your sensory library.
Mm-hmm.
And but who am I to tell you exactly what it is? But that's what we just try to do, a very high level. None of our bags are going to come with like 50 descriptors like you'll see on some other coffee companies, because half of them I don't see, black licorice.
Yeah,
and, yeah, right.
I was just going to ask you that because, yeah, a lot of the coffees, especially we try on the show, I try to read the bag and stuff and what's on there. And a lot of it's like, oh, you're going to taste hints of nutmeg and all this other stuff. And I'm like, do I? Do I not? I don't know.
What does nutmeg really taste like?
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Like one of them was like earthy. And I'm like, what does earth taste like? I don't know. But that's interesting. Yeah. Cause I realized that yours kind of doesn't really have those.
Yeah, we want you to, first just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then decide what you taste and what are the things about it that you like.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of that, could I have a little bit more?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's good, man. That's really good.
But it's, you really notice, it's fun to drink that one after the full steam, because the full steam being a Colombian and we roast it really dark, that it's really bold and intense. And but Colombians are certainly more of a neutral bean, I would say. And then you go to this Tanzanian pea berry with spring pines, and it's bright and fruity, a little nutty.
Yeah.
Not quite nutty like a hazelnut, but just so different that to me that those are fun to drink one after the other, because they're the opposite ends of the spectrum, really.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. If I can just bring something up about the roast levels, like, when we get a new coffee, you got to do your research on it too. Like, not all beans roast well at the same level. This Tanzania one probably wouldn't do very well dark.
Oh, I gotcha.
Colombian's more versatile. It's very good at medium or very dark. So I think that's just something to point out. Like,
Yeah.
So, but also going back to the sample roaster, it's a smaller batch to waste.
Yeah.
Or test out.
We were talking too before the show about the espresso bean.
Yeah.
And the importance of that espresso bean.
It's amazing.
Talk to me about
very well on. I guess people think of it that it's always a dark coffee, and that's not really true. Espresso is really just the grind level. There's very different grind levels, which is kind of fun. And we talked about different roast levels. Then not only you have the different roast levels, but you have the different grind levels. So you can really play around with the different flavors of the coffee. So even when Shelly and I do these coffees, somebody might be doing it at a different grind, and they're going to have maybe a little bit different flavor. But it's fun that you can just play around like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to taste different things if you're going to drink a coffee drip through a drip machine versus what we're doing here with the pour over, the Chemex, versus a French press versus a Turkish or even an espresso. So we do see and get the question from a lot of folks about, do you have an espresso bean? And so we have to explain to them, well, espresso is about the grind and the extraction method, not the bean itself. Every single bean can be ground and extracted for every single brew method. It's what are you looking for? And most people, when they say that, what they're looking for in an espresso is dark.
Yes.
And so our full steam or our Highlands, which is a really dark Sumatra, are where we end up, pointing people, say, I think this is what you're looking for.
But
when
you
you're
wouldn't
asking
use
for that.
this one as an espresso.
I would.
You could.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think for businesses that we serve, that we're going to point them to full steam. For you and me, hobbyists, whatever, try them all. The Whispering Pines is really good. Whatever level you are with coffee.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the snow camp.
So this is something that we wanted to do for a really long time, and it really wasn't until I was able to leave my full-time job. So it literally took from end of February last year till almost August. But we hired our local artists, as you see on our bags. All the artwork were local. Lou Wilson's his name, and he's
Shout out Lou Wilson.
shout out to Lou, love you. He did a great job, and going back to like when we started, like we want it to be all on brand, but it takes a lot for a small little business to put out like one product. And you'll see a lot of other coffee companies, they'll use a brown bag and that sticker with all the things on it. We really wanted to eventually have a story, but Snow Camp, getting to that, this is going to become our first rotational coffee. So when I reached out to Lou, I wanted something that, because since we were already doing like North Carolina theme, wanted something that would say North Carolina for multiple coffees. And he kind of came out with this idea of this farmer looking out over North Carolina, which is pretty amazing. It wasn't really what I had in mind, but I was trying to say something about North Carolina. So he really nailed it. I think it just follows our theme. So anyway, we're into fall now, and we get the bags, and I'm like, what are we gonna do? Well, let's do a winter blend. So we worked with Mill City Roasters, and they had a couple of winter blends already from their trained baristas, and we picked one of those, and that's actually what we ordered. And of course, with the theme of our coffees, we called it Snow Camp, just an unaffiliated town in North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was just fitting, and it's actually doing really well, selling really well, and we've been enjoying it every morning.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the fun thing about this is, so when we run out of Snow Camp, we're out of Snow Camp, and then we'll do something else and call it something else using this bag. But this bag was designed to be a rotational, so that it's kind of like going back to bringing the hobby back into it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Is that we found a way to change things up, try different things, do things that are a little bit more seasonal. But kind of going back to his point about Snow Camp, is we hadn't talked about the fact that we started with Peak City blend. If you're familiar with downtown Apex, North Carolina, that's what the picture looks like. If you realize that the Apex is the peak of the Chatham Railway, the train is a big part of our community. So that's why Full Steam has the train barreling through across the countryside here. And then we said, we really like being a part of North Carolina, but we don't want it to be obvious to people outside of North Carolina. So the rest of our coffees, Whispering Pines, Highlands, and Corova, are all small towns. And now Snow Camp, all small towns in North Carolina.
Small town. That's what we wanted to.
Yeah.
Like Anger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're getting Andrew. Absolutely.
It's definitely got to be something that's not like a big city like Raleigh or Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's going to be some, because actually when you first started doing, you're like, Highlands, what's that? But actually it's kind of fun too, because you're like, Highlands, oh yeah, actually I still haven't been there, I need to go. In the mountains, and then you just learn a little bit about it. So if you look at our Highlands bag over there, it's a little bit of obviously the Blue Ridge Mountains, they're known for their waterfalls and their Scottish theme, and that's what we asked Lou to do, to represent that. So every little thing has a little story behind it, and I think that's what we want to do. We want to have a little story, not only good coffee, and actually really, like, also, by the way, everything we do here is whole bean. We don't on our website, we don't offer grinding. We will do it if you put it in the notes, but we really don't want you, because we want to educate you that bring the bean home, use it when you want to use it. There's no real shelf life, and just enjoy it. And you'll also notice a lot of different coffee companies, they have kind of a, they have their own thing behind it. Like, we just want to be good quality coffee. Like, whatever their mission is, the mission was the word I was looking for. Yeah. Whatever their mission is, our mission is just bringing really good quality coffee to the consumer. That's all we want to do.
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for the Andrew. I think that'd be cool.
We could probably do it.
We're the town of crepe myrtles, just so you know. So we're going to do a crepe myrtle.
Okay, maybe something a little fruity then to go with a flowery to go with the crepe myrtles.
That'd be nice. I don't want to speak into an existence here on the podcast, but if we see one, it's
you speak and it shall come.
So we were talking about this before the interview the other day. We make mistakes, right? Over the summer, as I was multitasking, we were doing full steam, and I let it go about 10 degrees too much. And that's a 10-kilo batch of coffee. So that's, a few dollars. And dropped it, told Shelly, I'm going to get in trouble. And she said, well, maybe we can still sell it as full steam. I'm like, well, we got to try it and all that. Had another friend that was like, I'll drink it anyway because it's free, and I'm like, okay, I'll give you some. But I would jokingly said if we did sell it, it was going to be called New Burn. New Burn.
Clever.
That was kind of funny.
That is funny. Yeah.
But actually going back to the roast process, once you get into that second crack and that firework going, it's like if you take it just too far to the right, it really will just put it back in the ground.
Really?
So that's really what New Burn would have been.
Yeah.
But maybe Andrew someday.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the business side of Peak City a little bit more.
Sure.
What are you guys doing now that you think is working well for you guys? Obviously, being a high grade coffee bean is, sets you apart. But what else is do you think you guys are doing really well right now?
So I think one thing that's really helped us recently is we've really increased our social media.
Yes.
And our social media advertising. We are now getting customers through online orders that we have no idea where they came from. Some of them we can directly track through an ad, and some of them we don't know them. We don't see them coming through an ad, but we have to make that assumption they saw either an ad or something in social media or something out there because we have no connection to them. For the first 5 years, for sure, of our business, we felt like almost every single customer we knew. So now we've kind of hit that point where, things are clicking, things are working, and it's making a difference. So it's really exciting to see customers come through that we're like, well, who is this? Where'd they come from? How did they find us?
It is kind of funny.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with social media, you get the new customer that comes in, you're excited about it. You're like, where'd they come from? And yes, we're stalking you a little bit. Not really, but like, where did they come from? Like, did they learn about us at the local farmers market or the show that we did? Or that's important to us.
Yeah.
And actually, it's like a big family. We want to give everybody the great coffee, and we do want to know y'all. So, and it's fun. Like, when we started out, and we started delivering, by the way, we didn't do it right away. We were delivering, but we were delivering like in our regular coffee car. And then I think it was like our third year. So it's about 2 years now. We got a little small white car and we decaled it to a little coffee car. So
yeah.
It's like a little sports car. Like I love running around, hitting the lights and delivering. So it's kind of fun because, like Shelly was saying, not only are we sourcing, we're roasting. She's doing a lot of the business side of it, of course, but I'm enjoying like delivering it. And in the beginning, when we started out online, like we didn't really have a platform that you could just push a button and it send an email or whatever. So we literally were just like writing on the subject every time I'm sitting in the car, Peak City Coffee, number 1153 delivered. But I always liked it because there's some of our customers that actually reply to me still to this day. Thank you, Mike.
That's cool.
And I always just sign it Mike or Mike and Shelly, whatever. And it's something fun to do as your business.
Yeah.
And, we talked in the beginning about like having our own business is just a life goal. Like, like I did IT for 30 years. That was great. But having your own business, you can do what you want, and you can make them feel special. So, and we can also talk about like every delivery we do, like the packaging it's got to be like on brand. So when we had these icons made from when we did the logo, we put that on all the packaging. We should have had something available for you. I know you were looking for it.
No, that's awesome.
But
yeah,
but really, like that was the exciting part. Like, and then it just sort of evolved over time. We started as we started meeting new people. We started putting little gifts in there, whether they were coasters or now we've graduated to this really nice coaster. It's a cork coaster, and it's just very durable, very long lasting. So every new customer order now. Every new customer gets one of those. It was important that we always have a thank you card. So, we want to make sure everybody's getting their coffee. It's a luxury coffee.
Yeah.
Very luxury coffee.
Yeah.
So,
how do you guys grow the business as far as getting into other shops, maybe have a bigger online presence as far as, e-commerce and that kind of stuff? Like, where do you go to grow it? How do you do it?
So I think recently our e-commerce has grown. For one thing, we revamped our website. We had a website that worked for us real well the first couple of years, but you have to kind of reinvent yourself a lot. Not necessarily your logos, but just your making sure that everything looks fresh, modern, up to date. So that's something that we really have started doing. Pairing that with our social media has really helped. Some videos and things that we've got, putting those out there to educate people has really helped growing that e-commerce business, I think. And then on the wholesale side, just finding new niches and new ends and new businesses that need to serve coffee has been really beneficial. And those are always nice big orders, but then people are finding out about our coffee because they frequent these businesses, and some of them will actually put a little rack with our bags as well, and so then they can start making some connections with, oh, I just had this bagel with this amazing cup of coffee, and now I either can buy it here or buy it online or buy it in a grocery store. And, that's made a big difference.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you guys are competing with some big coffee brands.
We are
in the Triangle. Like there's some big names that are probably pretty spread out throughout the nation.
Yeah.
And obviously just drinking it, I'm like, okay, well, obviously this one's pretty darn good. It's as good as any, if not better. So how do you, I don't even know if compete's the right word, because I look at some of these other coffees and they're great, like Counterculture, which is great out of Durham, but they're huge. National. And I would imagine they don't have the family touch that Peak City has. Is that something that like we don't really want to get as big as Counterculture because we would lose that? Or is it something like, no, we would love to be as...
We definitely want to grow bigger, but we definitely don't want to be as big as a Counterculture. We want to be within our community.
Yeah. We're not trying to be a big corporation by any means, right? Our goal isn't to sell out either to a big corporation. Our goal is to grow the business, keeping our roots and our mission as is.
That's cool.
And it really is a family business.
Yeah.
And it just, we give a shout out to our son. He does all our social media, and just sort of walked into it like he did it in high school, got trained and certified. Now it's kind of like his job. And our daughter, she's coming over here helping out, bagging coffee, doing whatever, contributing, so. And we have a lot of friends that are always like ready to roll. So
heck yeah,
I'm waiting for the bigs. Hey, I got to get you in here, take you up on your order, and we're getting close. But no, we don't want to be this big box coffee company. We want it to be small, and we want to be continuing to let people enjoy all the 5 coffees that we have, the main ones. But we want to bring in the rotationals and give them some fresh stuff. Quarterly. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna grab this coffee over here, but while I do, did you guys want any more of this or no?
Yeah, I'll take some of this.
I want to know if you guys can tell me while I'm grabbing this. Some of the coffees I get are super oily and never good. What's with the oily coffee? Like, why does it come out oily?
You want to answer that or me?
Well, it really depends on the coffee bean. A Colombian, actually, this full steam can get oily. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing that it's oily. What it can do though is it can require a little bit more cleaning of your high end
maintenance,
and a little more maintenance of like a high end espresso machine. But the oils is just part of the bean itself as it.
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
Can you put that? Just out of the camera there. Sorry, no, that's okay.
So sometimes folks who have maybe like a high-end espresso machine at home that they've had some issues with trying to keep it clean, I'll recommend to them to use the Highlands, which is the Sumatra bean, versus full steam as the Colombian, because the Sumatra bean just naturally doesn't get as oily as a Colombian does.
Gotcha.
And what you had just finished drinking there was the Tanzanian. It's a very, very small, dense bean, and certainly since we don't roast it dark, it'll never get oily. Like you'll never see oils on that bean.
Yeah.
But it really varies from bean to bean.
Yeah. What am I drinking? Right. What is this one?
Right now, you're actually drinking our Snow Camp. It's our first winter.
Okay, so
winter
this is
roast.
Snow Camp.
Okay. Yeah. So we describe that one on a high level as smooth, berry, and creamy chocolate.
You nailed
and that just says winter to me.
It does, man.
So we took a couple small batches out of up in Minneapolis, and we're roasting them, and we still have some left. So order online. But like Tishelli said earlier, we're going to start doing these rotationals, and you won't see the winter blend again until next year, and it will probably be different.
Okay.
We'll do something different each year. It will be probably called Snow Camp.
This makes me want to sit with a fire, maybe have like a little s'more,
Yeah,
and enjoy this cup of coffee.
Exactly.
It's really good. That's really good.
and that's actually really our mission. Like we want people to like it to be an experience.
Mhm.
Coffee shouldn't just be like wake me up. I mean, obviously everybody wants caffeine, but also we want you to be able to have a really good cup of coffee with your loved one on the weekend, in front of the fire, a little
Oh, yeah.
snow camp,
I still can't.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. So where do you guys see Peak City going in the future?
Definitely would like to. I mean, we'd like to build our presence kind of on all of our avenues that we're doing. Certainly would love to see a stronger direct to consumer business. We do have subscriptions. Those have been growing. Want people to love our coffee and have it at home.
What do your subscriptions look like?
So you can do a subscription of any of our coffees and any of the sizes, and mix and match them however you so choose, and then you can choose a 30-day or a 45-day
Oh, okay.
delivery option.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
And
I when I was here the other day, I was talking with Mike about the app. I downloaded the app and went through the steps.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was nice.
Absolutely.
It's a great app. Can you do like is that all gonna be through the app, through the website?
you can do the subscriptions through the website or through the app. Yeah, and so the app is something new that we just did recently this fall to try to create another avenue to connect with us. The fun thing about the app is that we can push messages out, right? So anybody who's got the app, when the snow camp dropped, we're able to push a message out, and it pops up on your phone through the app that says, "Guess what? Snow camp is here. Try it now." And
That's cool.
or
Right.
or anything else that we do just to
Mhm.
get people connected to us and excited, and we want to be able to connect with people. So that's a fun thing.
So
about
download the app and definitely allow notifications.
Yeah.
We're not going to spam you. In fact, since we had the app in August, we've only sent a message out maybe 2 or 3 times. And just recently, to your point, we just sent out one. We do a bourbon aged coffee. We take a Brazil coffee and a Colombian coffee, we put it in a newly dumped bourbon barrel, and we actually have it in there for 5 to 7 weeks. This one happened to be 7 weeks, and we sent out a message the other day, let people know. We call that one the All American. We don't have it in front of us right this moment, but
That's cool.
that one's really cool. And I showed you the other day.
Yeah, it smells good. I didn't have it.
And it was really cool because normally we were putting about 30 kilo in the barrel, and this one we want to do even smaller, so it's a little more intense. So they're all different, but just like a bourbon, they're all different.
Yeah.
And also, it kind of just plays on something I want to do in the future. Maybe have a barrel coffee collection, and maybe play on some wine barrels or some tequila barrels, or just to see like what flavors we can get out of those. Something that was pretty unique to learn about coffee is they're very porous, so they absorb the kind of the smells and things around them. That's why they teach us not to put them on the floor.
Yeah.
So, but in a bourbon barrel, that makes them really, really fine. So
Yeah.
hopefully down the road, I'd love to have like a bourbon collection or a wine or whatever. Just a whole barrel collection is what I mean.
What about your soaps and stuff you got over there? What do you got going on?
Oh,
over
good
there?
question. Yeah.
So
Actually, yeah, if I can take this, I mean, last year, in our circle of friends, a friend of mine gave us some soap for a holiday gift. And when I saw that, I was just like, can you do a coffee soap? That would be cool. And she was like, no, I never done that, but yeah, I think I can do that. So Lynn, she made us the soap, all natural. And really what it became later was as we were building the app in the spring and summer, we wanted something to be part of a loyalty program, which we offer by downloading the app. So we'll change that up from time to time. It'll probably run like a 3-month. And, as you spend money on the app, you'll open up like new rewards, like discounts, maybe a bar of soap, maybe a coffee candle. We didn't mention that yet. We do a coffee candle now. But we definitely don't want to be a coffee candle company or a coffee soap company, but also at the same time, not only for that, we do, because it is special coffee. Like if you're looking for a nice gift for a friend and you want to get a bag of coffee and a nice, soap or a candle, I think it just pairs well.
Yeah.
So we're just testing that out now. And so we did the coffee soap and we call it Full Steam. And then after that, I asked her, we wanted to do another one, a play on Whispering Pines. So like a piney soap. So really popular right now with the Christmas season.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I really use it.
Yeah.
I'm using it.
That's cool.
The grinds make it nice and exfoliating.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about the coffee candle is, like, when we do markets and stuff, we meet a lot of people who say, "Oh, I love the smell of coffee, but I don't actually drink coffee." It's like, well, guess what? Here's a coffee candle made with our coffee.
Oh,
It's
so
all
cool.
soy, and now you can enjoy the smell of coffee
Yeah.
if you're not a coffee drinker.
15-hour candle.
Oh, really?
Just that small little candle.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know we kind of talked about this a couple days ago, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought this is a great idea for you guys. Is a Peak City coffee shop. Again, I'm just putting this out here into the world.
Maybe you can pass me a little of that snow can.
Yeah, man, there you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we would love to partner with someone who wants a coffee shop or wants to run a coffee shop where it's our coffee being served in there.
Thank you.
We meet a lot of people who say, "Where can I try your coffee?"
Yeah.
Like, well, this restaurant or this place or something like that is serving it. But it'd be really nice if there was a place that was, we could say, well, this is kind of Peak City Coffee's shop without it actually being ours.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're out there, give us a call.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That's still in the making.
That's right.
Although we do have some customers that are only serving our coffee, but we like a traditional coffee shop, barista, all that sells our coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
And local, something definitely local.
Yeah. Do you guys see yourself bringing on staff or anything like that? Do you just, Mike, are you going to be, you two, and early in the morning, you guys going to just keep chugging away in here by yourselves? Or what's kind of the future hold?
No, I think we would love to grow enough that we had at least, a couple of team members who helped us with the roasting and the packaging and the delivering and, all the things really.
Yeah.
So.
And I know, Mike, you're saying you deliver.
That's right.
Right? But, I mean, what if somebody orders it from New York? You ain't going up to New York, right? So, what ones do you determine that you're going to deliver, and which ones do you just...
So, if it's within the Apex area, if, maybe within 10, 12-minute ride, I'm dropping your coffee off at your door.
That's cool.
Otherwise, it's being delivered by, maybe one of the big carriers like UPS or...
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if you got a chance to see our video. We have a YouTube channel, and we made a video of us delivering coffee.
I saw that. That was
cool. And that was actually kind of fun to do. I got to be a little actor for about half an hour.
That's right.
And we had a lot of fun with that.
That's cool. All right. Well, these coffees have all been amazing. Where do you guys put, Mr. Shelly, we'll start with you, your favorite Peak City to, I don't want to say your least favorite because I'm sure you like them all. I mean, you make them all.
Yeah.
But just your preference of your favorite to
Sure. I think that probably my favorite is Korova. And I think maybe it's because we just don't drink it a lot at home. But it's, Korova is really, really light, really mellow. And so I really do enjoy drinking that when we actually make it or get a chance. We probably drink Full Steam the most at home. But then I love to switch it up and just have a cup of the Tanzanian because it's so different.
Yeah.
Probably the one that I drink the least, honestly, is the house blend. Just because, the Colombian, a medium roast Colombian is neutral, but it's delicious. But we're probably more likely to drink something else when we're drinking a coffee.
And ironically, it's probably the best seller.
It is.
I was going to ask you what one was the best seller.
Oh, yeah. The house blend is definitely the best seller.
House and Full Steam.
The Colombians for sure.
Yeah.
The house blend is probably the best seller, especially for a gift because of the design of the bag. And then, it's pretty safe to give somebody a medium Colombian if you're gifting
very
as
wide
well.
range. Yep.
But I mean, I've loved the snow camp. That's been fantastic for this winter.
Again, back to the hobby.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
But as a cold brew, love using full steam as a cold brew. It makes a fantastic cold brew.
that's another good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
We've tried. We originally thought that we would do the cold brew with like the Tanzanian or something light. You think about it,
Right.
but then you're diluting the coffee so much when you do the ice and everything in the cold brew that's why the full steam, starting with a bold, rich coffee, just really hits right when you put it over ice.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another extraction method.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Well, my favorite is full steam for sure.
Okay.
That's probably the one we drink mostly at our house. But we can bring in the Corova whenever you want.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I guess full steam was like one I probably roasted all the time, not knowing it would be full steam as a hobbyist.
Oh, I got
And
you.
it was always one that I roasted on the machine. The machine we had was like a gas grill, had no fancy equipment, didn't record the internal temperature, and it really was about listening to those cracks we talked about. So, but it was definitely different than just pulling the lever over here and dropping it in, like having that nice fan. Because now I had to get my mitts on, and I had to get the thing off and put it into 2 pizza pans and have a fan ready to go, and smoke goes up the street.
That's crazy.
And somebody's seeing that flume of smoke going, oh, Mike must be roasting coffee again. But I think that was the one that we did most. It was the Colombian one, and always did it very dark.
Yeah.
And so that kind of resonated, to Shelly's point. And definitely Colombian, everybody knows. Everybody, I think, I'd say 80% of people are very familiar with Colombian coffee.
Thank you, Juan Valdez.
Yes, thank you, Juan Valdez. But then to draw them in, get the coffee, and then see some of these other coffees, it's just really, really special, all the different coffees you can get.
Yeah.
All these different farmers that are doing it all over the world.
Have you guys had a chance to go down to any of these farms?
Not since we got into coffee as a real hobby. I mean, 22 years ago on our honeymoon in Hawaii, we went to a coffee farm, just as part of our Hawaiian experience.
Yeah.
Kauai.
But there was, I don't think we appreciated it because we didn't have the knowledge and the understanding of coffee and the coffee process.
We were drinking bad coffee then. Let's just be honest.
We were young. What did we know?
Young and dumb.
That's right. All the young people listening now, you can get ahead of the curve by getting you some Peak City coffee.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, we still have a lot of fun though, doing various pop-ups or farmers markets and things where we'll bring all of our coffees and let people taste them all. And watching people's reactions to the different coffees is really interesting because, you may love full steam, or you may say something this dark's not for me.
Right.
You may love the Tanzanian, or you may say, no, I don't really like fruity coffees. And that's great.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. And that's why we love to be there and taste our coffees with people.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of fun.
if I can expand on that, like when we started, we were at the Apex Farmers Market, and every Saturday getting out there, it was a lot of fun though, because you got to meet people, and of course you ask them, you got 5 of your coffees out there, and you're like, which one you want to start with? And a lot of times they'll be like, nothing dark. And that was always my favorite. That was my favorite because I always knew why, but I asked them nicely, why not dark coffee? Oh, it's just so bitter. And I'm like, oh, well, please just do me the honor and try our full steam. And then they drink it and they buy a bag and walk away. And they're just like, thank you. We just changed the whole curve because they just think dark coffee is like bitter. And, and you'll find in our full steam, I describe it as very like bold, but chocolate notes, brown sugars. So I do encourage you, don't put sugar. We're going to talk about that. I almost want to write it on the back of the bag. No sugar, please.
Yeah.
But I mean, love that you support us, but really just want you to develop your taste buds for that coffee. Cream's okay. Gives it a little different
Texture.
texture. Shelly's
Yeah.
still a cream. She still likes her cream,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
fine.
It's all right. Yeah.
No sugar, please.
Yeah. All right. It's funny because when I first started the podcast, I wasn't a dark roast guy. I thought I wasn't, and then I start like I would only get mediums, usually like a Colombian medium, because it's like you said, it's kind of the most universal. Most people are gonna drink that, and so something easy. But then I'm like, let me branch out a little bit. We got the Highlands. Obviously, I think that was one of the first dark, and that's probably why
That's
I
how
was
we
rated
met.
so high, because I was like, this is so good, like unbelievably good. And then that opened up a door to a whole new world of coffee for me, which I'm excited about.
You.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's been awesome. That coffee was awesome. These have all been great. Again, I'm trying to remember, like, because this is our third cup right now.
Yeah.
Which ones I had and which ones were great. As much as I liked the berry one, like, if it was my first cup of coffee, I think during for the day, I think I'd be like, oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Like I probably wouldn't reach for that one
Every day.
I wouldn't reach for that one.
That's a
every day.
weekend one.
Yeah, like a Saturday morning, kind of sleep in a little bit, get a nice berry taste. So far today, the Snow Camp might be my favorite one that I've had today at this table. It was really good.
That's
awesome.
Really, really good.
Awesome.
So
that makes me happy.
Yeah. Where do you want people to find you? Where can people buy your coffee? All that good stuff.
Definitely online. We definitely want to grow our online business. But you can find it in a lot of local places, local grocery store, but definitely small craft stores right around the area. We want to work with them.
Yeah, and then there's a few restaurants and stuff serving our coffee too, if you want an opportunity to taste it. But I would definitely say, online is certainly the fastest and easiest way to get our coffee.
Okay.
And certainly the best opportunity for us to connect with you. The Lowe's Foods in Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, Chapel Hill, and Pittsboro, North Carolina, all have our coffees. And so if you're in any of those areas, it's a real easy way to grab a coffee as well.
I'm just real quick. What is that process like of getting your coffee into Lowe's Foods?
It's a funny story.
Getting into a grocery store is a challenge.
I would imagine.
Mike had a good relationship just from being a shopper and at Lowe's Foods here in Apex.
She's putting it very mildly.
Yeah.
Shopped at the beer den.
There you go.
Because I love beer.
So he had built a relationship with the manager at the time at that store as we were growing our business or building our business really. And she had said,
when are we going to get your coffee?
Yeah, when we're going to get your coffee. Let's talk about it. And so she opened that door for us to get connected to the corporate for Lowe's Foods. So once you're in with corporate, then you can go to the managers at each store and build a relationship with them, and they can accept your coffee if they've got shelf space or if they want to do that. We're really lucky that Lowe's Foods is very North Carolina local product focused.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go through a distributor, whereas most other grocery stores you have to go through a distributor to get in, and that just tears down your profit margin.
And then it's a lot of busy work. And we don't want that. So we're happy to have Lowe's on our resume.
Yeah.
And shout out to Heather. Thank you for bringing us in here.
Yeah.
Because that really opened the door.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Your website is www.peakcitycoffee.com?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. And your Instagram is just Peak City Coffee? At Peak City Coffee?
And our Facebook, and we've got a YouTube channel too.
At Peak City Coffee.
That's right.
Nice.
It's all at Peak City Coffee.
We keep it consistent. The YouTube channel is really cool. Those videos were cool. I watched the one video of the blind taste test with that, I don't know if it's a couple or the big guy and girl.
Yeah.
And they were trying the Sheets, the McDonald's, Peak City. What was it? Starbucks.
They were pretty funny.
They were funny. That was really good. And I feel like if I did a taste test, I don't know, I feel like I would definitely be able to. I mean, as soon as they drank the Peak City, like they knew it. They're like, okay, yeah, this one's good.
Yeah.
And then they would, this one's probably McDonald's, maybe Starbucks, because they're all kind of not good. But it was really funny.
They were a lot of fun to do in the beginning. Obviously nobody knew who we were. So when we hired that company, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, just doing the different recordings. I don't know if you got to see them all, but
I think I watched almost all of
Did
them.
you
Yeah,
like the Corova one? It's like
yes.
one of my favorite. Remember I was
Yep.
talking about like I
With the
could see this in
horses
a
and
movie
yeah,
theater.
that was cool. Yep.
But obviously the one we did for delivery, that's my favorite because I got to do
Because you're the star.
the driver. I was a star. Finally, I'm Hollywood star.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, that video might take
Not
you far,
that I
man.
really want to be on the spot. I really am not.
That's cool, guys. Well, this has been so great, and everybody listening, you have to try Peak City Coffee. I've already said it 100 times on the show, but I'm going to keep saying it, especially here with the owners. But it is delicious coffee, and it's a little late to get it for Christmas. Actually, this episode probably will come out after Christmas, but birthdays, Valentine's Day, the New Year's, anything.
Every day.
Every day. I mean, most people are drinking coffee every day, so why not drink Peak City Coffee? It's delicious. Thank you guys so much for
Hey,
coming on
thank
the
you
show.
for having us.
Thank you for having us very much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This has been fun. But shop Peak City at www.peakcitycoffee.com. Bye, everybody.